Once again, I want to thank everybody and everyone for tuning in to Everyday Talk. I am your host, Lamar ChampMaker Wright. Listen, this is just a celebration podcast for myself, really just to pat myself on the back. I've been doing these podcasts for maybe 2 months, and I've really just grown a passion for it. If you go back to my earlier podcasts, man, you could just see how terrible they are, just the quality, how terribly made they are. But I had a passion for it. And then, someone told me, said, man, why don't you, you're doing so much better in the quality of your podcasting. Why don't you go ahead and delete the older podcast? And I said, you know what? I thought about it and I said, I'm not going to delete the earlier podcast for this simple reason. I want to be able to go back and see how far I've become. I have no schooling in podcasting or radio. I have no knowledge, or didn't at the time. I had no knowledge on how to produce a podcast. I had no knowledge. Man, I didn't know how anything worked. I didn't even know how to plug a mic up. But I went out. When I first started, I was using these little earbuds that was just, now that I think about it, man, it was just so shitty. The quality was so shitty. Then a friend of mine, Vince, let me use a camera mic, a Rode camera mic. And it made me sound a little better, but it wasn't what I needed. So as I started to dig off into this podcast, I said, and then started enjoying it and having a passion for it. I said, well, let me start upgrading. And it just hasn't stopped. So what I did, I went to Best Buy and I bought me a mic. So the mic that I'm using now is a little portable mic, but it's a great quality mic for what it costs. It's a Samsung satellite mic. But I still wasn't getting that type of sound that I wanted. So then I started doing some research, how to make, better sound from the mics. And, I just realized now that I have to upgrade to a whole better mic. And with that upgrade with that mic, I'm going to have to upgrade how I produce these podcasts. So that is on the way. It's not stopping. That is definitely on the way. Also, I have, what I did though. So I built a box. I built a soundproof box for this mic because this mic picks up any and everything. So I built a box. I went to Walmart. I bought some adhesive spray. And then I bought a little file box, like a little cardboard file box or whatever. And I bought some foam padding for a mattress. And I cut out and shaped the box to be a soundproof box. So my mic now sits in that soundproof box. And I talk from outside the box. But man, it's been an experience for me to really pick up on this, and then how much time I'm really learning, how much time I'm spending on learning how to really podcast and bring you that great quality sound. If you guys go back to my old podcast, or if you've been following me and my commercials have gotten better, just the overall production of my podcast has gotten better. I was at one time recording directly into the Anchor app. Now I know how to record from GarageBand. And then, it's just my production is just getting way better. But I do spend a lot of time. Trying to figure it out. And so I'm going to be upgrading. I'm going to build a small little radio studio in my basement. I'm going to upgrade my mics. I'm going to move the production into a laptop so I can have multiple mics. I know what type of mics I'm going to be getting now. It's just an amazing feeling. If you guys have started with me from the beginning, I think you guys have to agree. I've come a long way in 2 months. And that's why I'm doing this podcast today. I know you guys are waiting on a Tuesday full podcast, but I just wanted to pat myself on the back. I wanted to congratulate myself. I am now being heard in 15 different countries. I have in 2 months, I have over 700 views or listens. That might not be much for a lot of you, but to me, man, that means the world, starting with nothing and producing the podcast that I'm producing that sound to me pretty quality. If you guys let me know how the sound has changed. The quality of these podcasts have changed over just 2 months. I want to get you guys' feedback. But I'm just proud of myself, man, to have over 700 views or listens. I'm transitioning over into YouTube now, because the way that I can produce the sound track now, I'm gonna go ahead. I can't do video yet because I haven't upgraded into a good camera. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna take the audio and put it to a YouTube video, and I'm gonna start there now. That's another platform that I'm gonna be entering to, is YouTube. So you guys can check that out. The YouTube channel will be the same Everyday Talk Podcast on YouTube. This will actually be my first YouTube podcast. And that's why I was so eager and excited to make it, and I couldn't wait. And I just wanted to share my progress with you guys. And I just wanted to let everyone know who's podcasting, if you really have a passion for it, you guys will figure out ways to produce a better podcast for yourself. I am just telling you, I can't wait until tomorrow until I start figuring out new ways. Like I'm telling you guys all my secrets because I'm so excited. I've made sound barriers, soundproof sound barriers that stand up. Now I'm going all out on this. I want the best quality production podcast that I can make for you guys to get that listenership up. And I just and then another thing that I want to get on to. I know I'm rambling, but this is just a 2-month celebration for me for being heard in 15 different countries and having over 700 views or listens. But what I've noticed is, because I have a good following because of what I do, I'm a professional boxing coach. But what I've noticed is, people kind of fake the funk with you. People that you think or thought would support you, and it's just a click of a button. That's what, it's so simple that all you have to do is click the button to support the person that you know and just listen. But those are the people that you think that would support you are the ones 9 times out of 10 they're not supporting you. But so you can't get hung up on that. You just have to keep driving, look for new avenues to promote yourself, look for new listeners. The ones that will find your podcast are the ones most likely to support your podcast, because I thought this would be fairly easy for me building my listeners up, because of I'm like I said, I'm pretty popular in what I do on social media. So I just thought, man, it'd be easy get 300-400 plays at one time. How many? I post on social media through my page about my podcast. I get maybe 2 likes on it, man. But I make a status, I'll get 300 likes. It's beyond me. So, I get no shares for the podcast. I post a video, I get 1 million shares. So, it's beyond me, but I'm going to just tell you guys, keep grinding, celebrate your little victories. And if you are passionate about this podcast, just keep doing it. I love the podcast. It's something I thought I could never do, but it's something that turns out that I'm good at. Well, at least that's what people tell me. Well, no, I believe I'm good at it too, or I wouldn't be wasting my time in it. But you guys got to really, really, really dig down and really study the game. If you want a great podcast, study your art. Be a student of it. Figure out ways that you can make better podcasts. And just keep grinding. Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't worry about your listenership. Don't worry about who supports you or not. Just keep making that great content. Keep putting it out there. And it has to be heard sooner or later. But one thing I've learned is when people listen to your podcast, no matter the content, they always want great quality sound. So just keep pushing for that great quality sound. Keep upgrading on that quality sound. And if you upgrade enough, you guys will have a studio of your own. So I appreciate all you guys for tuning in and listening to me. It's just my celebration, man, for being heard over 15 different countries, over 700 plays or views. And this will actually be my first podcast going on YouTube. So whenever you guys listen to this, go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It will be Everyday Talk Podcast on YouTube as well. Subscribe from whatever platform that you're listening to now. I appreciate all your guys' support. I'm telling you, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep it going because it's something that I'm really passionate about. It's something, the topics that we're talking about, everybody can relate to. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Go ahead, subscribe, like, share, tell your friends all about it. I'm your host, Lamar ChampMaker Wright.